Hey everybody, Roman versus with the Squashfest podcast and my co-host.
Round two, fight the boy Harm.
So unbeknownst to everyone, we were having technical difficulties. We recorded the podcast earlier and then we ran into a bunch of issues, and basically that footage is now lost. And so we're doing it again. However, the Spider Pig is about to be home and he's gonna kick the boy Harm out of his chair. So we're trying to do this super mega fast. Let's go.
All right, so we're going to be reviewing WWE Night of Champions and Raw from last night. We'll touch on SmackDown a little bit, and we'll do that now. The biggest takeaways from SmackDown: Julia wins the United States Championship off of Zelina Vega. I think that's a great decision. Julia is a great athlete. She's got more aura than Zelina does, even though we love Zelina, but Julia has definitely got more presence for herself than Zelina does.
She'll be able to do
And
way more with the title,
yeah,
because they're gonna actually let her do more. Like, she has more star power, so they're actually gonna book her as
yeah,
opposed to what they did with Zelina. Even though me and the boy Harm for weeks on end
love the Trinidad.
before they even gave her the title kept saying, if you're not gonna do anything with her, don't bother giving her the title because it's a false sense of hope for us, and that's exactly what they did. So thank you, Paul Levesque. Continue.
Yep, and then we had Punk Cena in a hilarious end of thing where Punk dressed up, cosplayed John Cena circa 2002 with Thugonomics again, drug free on the on the brass knuckles was hilarious. Came out in response to Cena's ripping off his pipe bomb last week. Punk ripped off Cena's Thug Life and not recorded, but uh rhymed and really hit Cena with some bars that was hilarious. Cena just looked shook going into Night of Champions, and that's really all you needed from SmackDown last week.
Pretty
I
much.
don't remember anything else. So Night of Champions, fun show, solid show. We spoke about this multiple times. These Saudi shows come off as high level house shows,
Mm-hmm.
even though they look great. The stage is WrestleMania like. It's huge. It's but nothing of consequence ever really happens at these shows.
So you had
Cody,
you had mentioned that before the show even started, and then I went into the show with different eyes. You were
mhm,
like, it's one of those shows where basically the good guys always win,
mhm.
and and pretty much nothing's gonna happen that's gonna matter in the overall verse. Uh,
we had one surprise the entire night, and you had called it, and that's Solo winning.
yeah.
Like I didn't think Solo was going to win that match. That was the entire night. It was Cody Randy going into for King of the Ring, and you knew Cody was going to win that
Hmm.
match.
As
Um,
if he needed more accolades to begin with.
Super Cody, like we used to talk about Super Cena, LOL Cena wins. This is LOL Cody wins, right? This is just we need to get Cody back to Cena before Cena retires to get the title off of him. Like I said, after WrestleMania, this is going to make Cody even bigger because now he has to fight to get the championship back before Cena leaves. But it was just like King of the Ring used to mean something, and this is what one of my bigger things. Like, and Royal Rumble used to mean something. You don't book your main eventers to win those things, right? Cody's the number one guy right now.
Yeah.
Do you need to win King of the Ring,
Yes.
or
Apparently.
or could we have used the King of the Ring
To
to
elevate
further
somebody else.
along?
Yes,
We say this
absolutely.
all the time. You could have further along Sami Zayn's story by having him win King of the Ring and having him face whoever the Raw champion is at SummerSlam. This was not a match Cody needed to win. Plus, he kicked out of two RKO's and looked like he could like a shotgun couldn't put him down during that match. Like it was a crazy way to win. Yeah, but Cody wins that match. He hits super cutter off the top rope. Um, hits a Cody. I was gonna say a Cody Rhodes stomp. That's not right. I'm just trying to do this too fast. He hits the Rhodes cutter. That's not his Cody cutter. No, that's not it. Crossroads. That's what it's called. He hits the crossroads for the win. On Randy Orton, and then we spoke about this before. Cuts a very heel-ish style promo
Hmm.
where he's basically saying, "I'm this is," and he's talking about it's weird because he was talking about Randy and Sammy and Jay, and he used the word character in his promo. He said they're
Yeah.
very good characters,
Yes.
and I was
I
like,
peeped that.
"Excuse me." I was like, "Wait, what?" What does that mean? They're very good characters, not they're very good performers, not they're very good wrestlers,
Hmm.
and I respect them. They're very good characters.
Yep.
So I'm just like, is Cody trying to break a fourth wall moment
That's
right now and saying
exactly
I
how
need to
I
go to
took
the
it.
top?
Yeah,
I
that's
like
exactly how I took it.
it was a strange promo, but yeah, Cody's got his match at SummerSlam for
Uh-huh.
the WWE Universal, no, not Universal, Undisputed Championship
Yep.
is what it's called now. Um, again, didn't need to win it, but whatever. Cody. Then we get, this is what it was actually called. They called it a Riyadh Boulevard street fight. Like the street fight between Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. And by the way, that's
Great
a lot of
match.
R. There's a lot of R's in that sentence.
Rhea Ripley,
Um,
Raquel
Rhea Ripley,
Rodriguez.
Raquel Rodriguez, Riyadh Boulevard street fight.
Wow.
Like, um, great match. These two women, again, they had a really great last woman standing match in NXT, which Raquel won. They had a really great match this Saturday. Raquel,
Getting the
maybe Raquel's
respect.
baby, yeah, maybe her best singles match on the main roster. Um, I like we said, she should have won this, especially when you pay 10 grand to fly tiny little Roxanne Perez overseas to help Raquel win, and Raquel still doesn't get the win. Like,
Yep.
what's the point? Yeah, towards the
And a
end,
win would have furthered along the story of the Judgment Day and how
yeah,
Raquel
yeah,
and Roxanne's relationship is changing now that Liv Morgan is out of action.
100%. Like we'll get into that on the Raw review, but they became officially the Raw Women's Champions, and Roxanne's officially a member of the Judgment Day. But even on the vote in, like Raquel was hesitant to bring her in because of her relationship with Liv, and maybe a win over Rhea, which Roxanne could have helped her with, would help her, have a better relationship with Roxanne, bringing her in. So there could have been different ways this was done. Yeah, but towards the end, Rhea Ripley prism lock on, freaking dog, prism lock on Raquel Rodriguez. Roxanne Perez comes, breaks it up. She runs away from Rhea. Rhea hits her with two moves, I think, puts a trash can on her, hits her with a Shining Wizard. And it was a little thing that I noticed that only the really nerdy wrestling fan would notice. When she went for the Shining Wizard, she did Finn Balor's finger guns from the Bullet Club when she went for the Shining Wizard. Like a little touch there where it's just a nerdy thing only I would notice. Like I said, only New Japan fans would know this. AJ Styles fans, so on and so forth. But it was a great match. Towards the end, they have a table, and I don't know if you peeped this too, because we didn't talk about it the first recording, but I want to bring it up now. When they had the table set up in the corner, and after Raquel gets slingshot into the table and she hits her face on the side of the table, when they go up for that riptide where it's precariously laying on the table and Rhea standing on it for leverage, all I can think of was Shane McMahon, Kurt Angle.
No.
When Kurt Angle, during their match, when Kurt Angle hit that angle slam off the top to put Shane away, that's where I went. I was like, oh, she's gonna do the Kurt Angle Shane McMahon right now and use the table for leverage because they're too tall for her to actually riptide Raquel off the top rope. I don't think she has that strength to hold her up there, which is what the table was for. But that's just a little thing I noticed. It's like I thought about Shane McMahon and Kurt Angle from King of the Ring 2000. But yeah, Rhea gets the win. Again, Rhea is Rhea. She falls into the same thing as Cody. Does Rhea need the win? No.
No.
Does Rhea get the win because they're in Saudi Arabia and everyone loves Rhea Ripley? Absolutely.
That's exactly what it was.
All right, then we get Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross for no title, just for Sami Zayn to be on the show. Sami Zayn 5-0 in Saudi Arabia. Sami Zayn, who when the Saudi shows first started, couldn't go into Saudi Arabia because of his Syrian heritage, but yet he can't lose there apparently.
Let's go.
He's a great wrestler. I love Sammy. He's the uber baby face. He's always over, and he got the huge pop. He might have gotten the biggest pop there that night from anybody in the crowd because they love him. But Karrion Kross needs a win, and like we keep saying this, he's over. He sells tons of merch. He gets on Twitter and on social media and cuts these great promos, but he needs a win. and he keeps losing to guys, and essentially, where are you going to go with this character? Because he had a group, the entire group got fired,
Mm-hmm.
besides him and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
He started getting himself over, and then they pulled him off of television.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's doing a feud with Sami Zayn where he's trying to turn Sami heel or get Sami to embrace the darkness so Sami can elevate himself. But Sami is just getting wins over him cleanly, which doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're going to have Sami win, can we have Sami cheat to get that win? At least show that what Cross is saying to Sami is actually true, that you need to cross into something that you don't need, that you didn't know that was in you in order for you to win these championships. Or if Sami is going to win, let Cross get the beat down afterwards to stand tall, because he looked
That's
bad.
where you got me when you mentioned it the first time. I was like, absolutely, he should have at least got the last laugh.
Because towards the end, I'm looking at the picture now, towards the end of the match, it was just Sami standing over him, Cross laying there, Scarlett holding him, and him yelling up at Sami, not doing anything. And I'm like, this doesn't do anything for Cross.
At all.
If any, like, again, you're making him look weak, and the fans love him. They want to see him get pushed. Um, then we get the United States Championship match: Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. Fun match. Jacob is inherently a babyface now at this point in his career. He's no longer the heel. Solo dominated the majority of this match. He physically dominated Jacob Fatu, which was an interesting booking decision, seeing that you've made Jacob a monster since he's been here. But towards the end, Jacob starts getting his shine. Jacob starts hitting his moves, and Tangaloa was the first one out. Tangaloa.
Here we go.
I was gonna say Tama Tonga. I knew it was wrong. Tangaloa, returning Tangaloa, first one out since his return since last year's War Games when he got hurt. Was first one out to help. Actually, JC Mateo runs down, and then Tangaloa comes out to help Solo. Jacob dispatches him quickly. Jacob hits a pop-up Samoan drop on Solo, and Hikuleu, aka now known as Talatanga, the younger brother of the other two Tongans, shows up and pulls Jacob out of the ring, chokeslams him through the announce table, throws him in. Solo hits a Samoan spike. Solo gets the 3 count. We get a new men's United States champion on Night of Champions. And Solo has effectively put together Bloodline 3.0, made with 3 Tongans and a Samoan New Zealander who's not related to anybody. So he has put together a family that's not his family.
You had to say that all over again.
All over again, because just, oh God.
He's like, I have to drive this point home. That
it really is, because I'm looking at this, I'm like, it's not his family. His brothers hate him. One of them was world champion. The other one can't stand him, Big Jim. Roman, who knows when he's coming back, because he's got to go shoot Street Fighter now.
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu is by himself, and maybe he'll create a mini alliance with Jimmy for a little bit to fight them. But where do we go? Like, are you gonna go 2-on-5 against these guys? It's yeah. We're gonna end up. I mean, it's the most interested I've been in Solo for 7 months.
I agree. I'm also interested in what's his plan now, because we saw a few weeks ago when they confronted Seth, and you saw how that went, and then soon after they're breaking up with Jacob Fatu anyway. So now, do they switch sides again and start that rivalry, or what's gonna happen? We don't know.
Yeah,
that's the one that makes the most sense though, because Seth is the only thing, he has his own plans, but essentially it's going up against Solo's plans. But now that he's US champion, who knows if those plans have changed?
Exactly, because Seth needs a world championship to validate his plans, not a mid-card championship.
Yeah.
And Jake, and I know Solo
I meant from Solo's perspective, does it change things?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think he'll be moving towards either one of those championships. Well, if you remember, I mean, since John Cena won that championship solo, hasn't been around the world championship picture because why would he be? You're referencing that one moment where Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins were in the ring against Solo on that SmackDown. I think it was right before Money in the Bank when they were all in the ring together. Um, Solo wants to dominate SmackDown, and he feels like having a championship in my family is the first step in dominating SmackDown. Seth wants to dominate the future of the wrestling business, and he needs a world championship in order to do it. So it'll be interesting, especially they're saying draft is going to be after October. Who knows? Around the time when the new seasons of television start. So
Copy.
we have a couple more months before that. Then we get the Queen of the Ring final between Jade Cargill and Asuka, and great match. Asuka carried her through a great match. Both ladies, and I'm just going to talk about their gear for a second because this is one thing I hated when they first started these Saudi matches was the full on women's gear.
Yeah.
But I feel like the last couple of years, the women have stepped up their gear. Like Rhea and Raquel both look great in their gear,
They did.
and it fit their characters.
And I love Jade's Storm.
Jade Storm, Jade looks like Storm completely. Asuka's, it looked to me like Psycho Demon Clown, which is fine because when she was in Japan, she was a Psycho Demon Clown. That was her gimmick. But everybody who on the show, even Roxanne, I said it when she showed up in her full-on Judgment Day black and purple stuff, and my daughter looks at me, she goes, "Please stop saying that." And I'm like, "Look at Roxanne, she looks so adorable." Like she's like 5 foot nothing in full-on black and purple latex, and I'm just like, she looks so adorable next to the other two. Like, but the women's gears in this have been getting a lot better, so they look great, and these two women had a great match. Asuka can carry anybody through a great match. I've been saying this for years that of everybody on the roster, Asuka's probably the most polished wrestler. I say that about her. I say about Io. I say about Seth. There's a few, but Asuka's fantastic.
And what we brought up during the last airing that didn't air,
The
what
attempted.
the attempted was the fact that this is gonna lead probably to Jade versus Tiffany Stratton, and then I brought up the fact that they already wrestled before and that match was terrible, and then you
Yes.
said, well, it is maybe a month or two away, so hopefully they can get their act together and hopefully it'll put on.
Yeah, they have a month till August 2nd or 3rd, SummerSlam, and Jade has her best matches with experienced in-ring wrestlers.
Mhm.
This was what was her problem in AEW. She didn't have real experienced in-ring wrestlers to work with at that time in their women's division standard of Britt Baker,
Chris
Riho,
Statlander.
Chris Statlander. So it's people who are still making a name for themselves, right?
Mhm.
She never got a match against Mercedes.
Yeah.
She never got it like Willow, even though you love her, same thing.
I love
Like
Willow.
younger wrestlers. In WWE, she has Asuka, Io, Kyrie, Naomi. Unless we don't like Nia Jax.
Mm.
Like people who have been wrestling a long time to help her carry her through matches.
Yeah.
And really show what she's really good at, which is the high spots, the power spots, and everything else. She gets the win with Jaded towards the end, and I said it early on. This was a whole Queen of the Ring tournament was to get Jade established in the singles division.
Yep.
Because she has been in the tag division basically since she's been in WWE with Bianca. So this was to get her championship match. I think she'll probably beat Stephanie for it and get it at SummerSlam.
I agree.
And maybe we get a cash in. We'll see. I think SummerSlam we're gonna get either.
Can you imagine if Naomi
Jade
cashes on Jade?
Naomi. Yeah, that's what I meant. Naomi
Jade.
catches on Jade.
Oof.
It'll be a great way to keep that story going. Like, I think if they do it right, and I know we complain about these things going too long sometimes, but if they do that right, you can get Jade Naomi to it Mania next year.
Yeah.
If they tell that story right, you had the first match this year, and you have it going next year. And if we know of anything under Triple H, he's not opposed to doing back-to-back same matches at Mania. Cody Roman, like he's not opposed to doing it. So I can see that happening. Or we can get the triple threat with Bianca when she gets healthy next year. You can do that too. So there's ways to get there.
And
Um,
we know how Bianca loves her triple threats.
Bianca.
She loves triple threats.
eh,
That girl loves to insert herself.
mhm. Actually, no, it was Rhea this year that inserted herself. Bianca
I don't
won.
blame Rhea. I blame Bianca. She should have never been in there. Shouldn't have been in that match.
She won Elimination Chamber to earn the match.
Did you
It
hear what I
was a
said?
Rhea. I heard what you said.
Okay, my stance is not going to change. She should not have been in that match. Continue. Let's move forward.
Okay, that's totally different from what we were saying leading into that match when we were all kept saying Rhea didn't need to be in this match.
Rhea didn't need to be in that match, but even more so, I just didn't want to see Bianca. Continue.
So who was Io gonna wrestle herself?
She could have, and that would have been a way better match.
No, because that women's match was the best match of both nights.
No.
At Mania. Yes, it was.
Her by herself would have been 10
You're an
times
idiot.
better. That's
You're an idiot.
crazy.
That women's match, triple threat match, was the best match of Mania this year. You're insane.
Of night one.
All right. No, of the entire show.
Stop it. Continue.
We can go back. There'll be another one, a retrospective.
We don't have the time.
We ain't got to do it now. I'm talking about later.
I'm saying we don't have the time for you to even discuss it. Move along.
CM Punk, John Cena.
This guy's gonna get in there. He's gonna kick you out. Watch.
CM, he gets a steel chair over my back. CM Punk, John Cena for the World Championship, and like I said, this was your typical old guy match. They're 48 and 45, or however old they are. They tried to play on nostalgia. They tried to do everything that they could to make this match captivating and compelling. I don't think it worked. I thought this match was extremely boring for most of it until you got the shenanigans towards the end.
I did not expect all the shenanigans. I expected Seth to come out. I did not expect for everybody else to come out. I thought.
But we talked about this during the first one. So towards the end of the match, ref bump. Cena goes for the 5 moves of doom, hits a shoulder block on the referee. Seth Rollins' music hits, stands at the top of the ramp. Didn't run, no urgency, didn't run to the ring. Really meandered his way down, almost Travis Scott style in WrestleMania this year. Eventually sends the breakers. That's what I'm going to call them. I don't care. Bronson and Bronson injury attorneys. From now on, their name is the Breakers until they catch a name. They send the Breakers into the ring. They start destroying everything. They start beating them, everybody down. Penta comes down, takes out one of them. I don't remember which one it was.
He ain't take out
Penta
nobody. Penta came out and then he got his ass kicked, if you remember. And then Sammy came out and then he actually fights Braun Breaker. Okay. And then Penta decides to get up and take them both out.
Yeah, with a plancha. He hits him with a plancha. Like off the top rope, right?
Not something off the top rope. He dives off the stage.
Okay. I just remember him flipping somewhere.
Yes.
So that happens. And then Seth eventually gets into the ring. And as he's in the ring, Little Nate comes down. I feel like we had this conversation, but I know it was only a couple hours ago. So Little Nate comes down sprinting like he did at WrestleMania 19 during, I think it was the Undertaker Ric Flair match or one of those Undertaker matches, sprinting. And John Cena shoulder tackles the crap out of Little Nate, Charles Robinson.
There are memes online with him still on the floor. Yes. Hours after the show.
Charles Robinson, in my opinion, is the greatest referee in the history of wrestling. He's been doing it since WCW, which is why we call him Little Nate, because Ric Flair used to put him in robes. Like, I love him. He's been around forever. He's great. He took that was the bump of the night. Yeah. Like, he was out.
That hurt.
Seth gets into the ring because not only did he take the shoulder block, he took the shoulder block into the ring steps. He hit the ring steps. Like, he did. So Seth gets in the ring. Cena gets behind him. Seth goes to hit him. Cena hits him with an attitude adjustment. He pops up, and then the other one hits him with a GTS. Punk and Cena look at each other. Punk goes to shake Cena's hand in the dumbest babyface move of all time. And they go and they hug in the middle of the ring. Cena's face changes the way it changed at Elimination Chamber this year.
Which I loved.
Yeah, it was a callback to when he turned heel.
Hey, buddy.
And then he goes for the low blow. And Punk, exactly, that's like that. He goes for the low blow. And Punk catches it because he doesn't truly trust John Cena.
Of course.
So he catches, and he shouldn't. But he catches and then goes for the GTS. He misses. Seth gets back into the ring, hits Punk with the briefcase, hits him with a stomp. Cena throws Seth out of the ring and steals the victory for a 3 count in a super heel move and runs away. So Cena didn't even win with his own finishing move. He stole the victory, which is a great heel thing to do. While Seth is just there like, oh crap, I messed up.
Overall, good show.
It was a good show. Like I said,
nothing, not needle moving, not super spectacular. It was a good show.
I was just shocked by Solo winning that championship, but otherwise, it was a good show. And then we get Monday Night Raw, and Monday Night Raw to me was a better show than Night of Champions. But it was a Raw, right? So you have your backstage moments, you have everything else, but the backstage moments is hilarious. So Rhea Ripley gives. I can't even do it because it'll be making fun of Io Sky's English, because she kept saying Rhea Ripley. And I was just like,
you skipped out during the first recording. You actually made it past without mentioning anything about her accent, and then the second time around, you're just like, nah, I can't do it.
I can't. I can't. I was watching it with Spider Pig, and I'm just like, God. God. And I love Io. Great wrestler.
You cannot say that. You're not allowed to say that. No, you're not. You're not allowed to say that.
I just accidentally clicked out. Oh, okay. So, not Raquel, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky are in the ring, and Rhea is basically saying, now that I'm done at Queen of the Ring and hopefully done with the Judgment Day, I want what's mine. And Io comes out, and Io basically tells her, I want to be the best wrestler and the best champion I can be.
And in order to do that, I need to take out Rhea Ripley.
Yes, I need to defeat Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, I need to beat Rhea Ripley. And Rhea goes, well, if that's what you want at Evolution, just remember, mommy's going to take back what's hers. Or mommy's always on top. Or one of her catchphrases. Whatever. It's just like, it doesn't matter. So we're going to get Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley at Evolution. And we spoke about this before. I don't like baby faces calling out people when you're the champion. I don't like you offering up your championship. If you want to continue to hold your championship, you should never defend your championship. You should try to loophole your way out. You should do what Dominic Mysterio did last night.
Stop it. I argued that if you are a fighting champion, anybody can get it.
But being a fighting champion makes you lose your title. That's what happened to Jey Uso. He bit off more than he can chew. He cared too much about Cody Kadarius Rhodes, and he cared too much about Sami Zayn, and Gunther told him that's what was going to happen. You want to be a champion, you want to be a great champion, you only care about yourself. You do not put your body on the line for other people. And that's what Io's doing. She's putting herself in a dangerous position to lose against Rhea Ripley, and it's stupid.
I disagree. That's it. That's all I got. I disagree. Keep it moving.
Keep it moving. We got the Irishman versus the New Day for the tag team championships.
We were both
surprisingly,
both
Judgment Day coming out with the victory. New tag team champions on Monday Night Raw, and a great match. Fantastic. It's great to see. We talk about this all the time. It's great to see the Raw tag division getting a lot of time and a lot of really good match on the show, because Smackdown tag division has been the focal point for them for a while. Raw has not been. To get a 3-segment match between these two teams, it was fantastic. Judgment Day.
That I will say, because we kind of skipped over it, but SmackDown, it was very tag heavy this week. It had like everybody and their mother. It was all tag oriented. So because they all. Right.
Because the entire division is feuding with the Wyatts for some reason. Like, we'll get into that on Friday. Like, and I love the Wyatts, but no, like I don't
think it's necessary, but yeah. Especially they haven't done much.
No, they've come out twice and destroyed the entire division. So I understand why everybody hates them, but and also why did the Wyatts last week get a tag team title match? They haven't won a match since Bray was alive.
Damn. That's
like I'm just saying,
I'm saying
like
those statistics are terrible.
well, how did they get a tag title match? I understand they got beat down by everybody. It was a huge super DQ on SmackDown, but I'm just saying they didn't deserve the tag title match. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about. Finn and JD, new tag team champions, and we talked about this before. They wrestled as the baby faces.
Mm-hmm.
They got a huge pop when they won. The fans were into it. They gave them the baby face pop, and I believe they are going to turn this entire faction heel. And I say this all the time, and I've said this before he got hurt. JD McDonough, his wrestling ability, he
And
stole
you
the
said that
show
wrong.
last
You
night.
think they're turning that faction not heel,
Babyface.
but babyface.
Oh, my bad. I said heel. I think they're turning the whole faction babyface. Yes.
Which is very
But JD,
interesting because we kept talking
yeah,
about how they're going to break up and so on and so forth, especially since Dom is the one that's turning face. But considering that Liv is out, you got to postpone all
yeah,
those initial plans. And so, yeah, turn everybody babyface and then have a heel Liv Morgan coming back and destroying that dynamic, I guess.
yeah. Then you got it 4, 5, 6 months for Liv to be back, so it's gonna be a while. And so a babyface Judgment Day faction could be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, towards the end, really interesting, really cool finish. Kofi's on the outside. He goes for he goes for a clothesline on Finn. Finn hits the sling blade, gets up. JD's the legal man. He tags Finn in. He hits a Spanish fly off the top rope on first, a Spanish fly off the top rope on Xavier. Then he hits his moonsault, beautiful moonsault from JD. And then Finn hits the coup de grace for the win. And we have new tag team champions. Fantastic match. And again, we spoke about this before. All 5 members of the judges today holding gold again.
Yep. That's sick. They started posting up on social medias, and you see all of them just like clinging their belts
Their
together.
titles.
It was it was a sight to see.
And it's like I said, and you don't watch NXT, and I've been telling you for a long time, Roxanne Perez is a star. No, but I've been telling you a long time, Roxanne Perez is a star. When she gets there, she's going to be great. And you can see it already. She's only been there a few months. And you have Julia on one show who's a champion. You have Roxanne on one show as a champion. And then you have Stephanie Vaquer right now, who hasn't been on TV for a couple weeks, but she might be the most over of the 3 of the women who came up at the same time. So there's a lot of really good talent coming up through main card WWE right now, which is why you need to watch NXT so you know these people before they actually show up.
I know a lot of them through the game.
Who's Sol Ruka?
The one that pisses me off the most.
What championship does she currently hold?
I don't know the names of the championships on that show.
Trick question. She has 2.
Oh, interesting.
She's the NXT North American champion, women's North American champion, and she's the WWE Speed champion. Yeah.
That's a belt that's not canon. Let's
We're moving on. We're moving on. Sheamus and Rusev. All right, I'm gonna let you talk about Sheamus and Rusev because I think you hated this match more than I did.
I hated this match. Now here's why. Because they're both boring to me. It's a whole lot of nothing. They're not doing anything with Rusev. Think about it. He came back, he fought Otis, then he fought Tozawa, and now he's getting into it with Sheamus. A whole lot of nothing. They've essentially killed all energy of his return, for me anyway. And it was just 2 brutes, like you said in the first recording that didn't go through. You said it's 2 brutes just beating the hell out of each other, and the welts by the end of the match looked pretty cool. And that's about it. That's all we're going to talk about this. At the end of the match, Rusev gets the win, and then you hear him going, "You're forever going to be my brother, and little brother has surpassed." Stop it.
Your little brother has grown up. Yeah.
I didn't care about none of that, to be honest. That's all I can say about this match. It was a whole lot of nothing. It was to fill airtime, and you had to give Rusev another match because you haven't done much with him. And you're like, you know what? I am doing a lot with Malachi Black. Let me, is that his name? Aleister Black.
Aleister Black.
I get it confused because it's
what doesn't matter.
Black.
It doesn't matter.
Doing a lot with Black, and so
you know that black guy with the tattoos.
Yeah, that guy. And so we have to try to do something with Rusev, I guess. And that's how the conversations go backstage. That's it. A whole lot of nothing. Next.
Beating a 4-time WWE champion and a man who won a Royal Rumble and a King of the Ring is good for Rusev. That's all I got.
All I got in response was that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that did things a long time ago.
I think his last championship was in 2015.
There you
It was
go.
during one of the Roman Reigns big dog runs when Sheamus cashed in on him because he was a Money in the Bank winner.
Mm.
I all right, so then we get the backstage where these two, Bailey and Lyra, are arguing. And I need you to do
I
and say
can't.
exactly
I
what you did
can't.
before.
I can't.
I needed you.
I can't.
That was hysterical. You,
I can't
for
do
those of
things.
you who can't see it, I wish you could. He was like, I hate them both. They were both yelling, and he made fun of Lyra, and he tried to do it's an Irish accent that was ridiculous. You think me saying Rio Ripri is bad? No, this man took out the entire island in one sentence. But these two ladies, are backstage arguing over who's going to be facing Becky Lynch, who wants the Intercontinental Championship. They're just yelling over each other, sounding like two cats in an alleyway, until Adam Pearce comes and literally says, "I'm going to cut this out right now. You two are having a match tonight." So then, actually that was before the Rusev match. Doesn't matter. Then we get the backstage after. We got to talk about Ludwig Kaiser again. So you missed the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So in the first, there's two segments with Chad Gable. So Chad Gable's legitimately hurt. He posted up a picture today of him getting successful shoulder surgery, and it must have happened the weekend. He had two matches at AAA, Worlds Collide, and then did the Money in the Bank match that same day. Like he wrestled twice in one day, and he's selling American Made. Hey, I'm going to be out for a few months. Long gone. I expect you guys to keep American Made strong. All while Ludwig Kaiser is just lingering in the background, listening to him. So they have the Rusev match after that. And then coming out of the Rusev Sheamus match, you see Kathy Kelly try to interview American Made. And as she's talking to American Made, a 6'3", skinny, tall, not Chad Gable, Grande Americano shows up, and you can tell right away that this is Ludwig Kaiser in full-on Mexican Grande Americano suit, just from the way he's standing. Because he's not standing like Chad Gable has a specific stance as Grande Americano. He kind of puts his hands on his hips. No, Ludwig Kaiser is all. You can't see it anymore. Doing the Gunther stance. and just like, it's hilarious. And I'm just like, what is he doing? He doesn't say anything, and he walks away, and Ivy Niles' face just staring at him the entire time was hilarious. He walks away, and coming out of that, Kathy Kelly, or the other one, it might have been Jackie Redmond, it doesn't matter who it was. They go over to interview Sami Zayn in the same segment, and Karrion Kross shows up, hits Sami Zayn in the chest with a lead pipe, taking him out, and basically yells at him, and we're not going to be done with this feud anytime soon either, so hopefully he can get a win. That's all I got. He got the Gunther promo. So Gunther comes out, and he's basically talking about Goldberg the same way I talked about Goldberg last week. Goldberg, you can't lace my boots.
Yeah.
You can't beat me. You're a 3-minute trick pony. Blah 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 blah. You shouldn't have this title match. You're a 58-year-old man. All this other stuff. And as he's doing that, he's interrupted by Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins comes out, and he says a lot of the same stuff to Gunther. He basically just tells him that he didn't go to Saudi Arabia to cash in Money in the Bank, even though he was waiting for a referee, so that's a lie. The number one thing he always said was, as long as he's here, he was never going to let CM Punk be a world champion. That's why he was there. Um, as soon as he said he's gonna basically cash in, and if it's either gonna be Gunther or Cena, it doesn't matter, but one of them's next. CM Punk gets the ring, chases, beats down Seth Rollins, chases him out of the ring, and as he's going to walk away, Gunther, who's standing dead center on the Slim Jim logo, waiting for CM Punk to get off the second turnbuckle, pulls CM Punk, spins him around. Punk pushes him super hard. Gunther tumbles, hits the ground, and Gunther looked like a scared little dog.
Which we
Like,
both said we don't think he expected it. I think he kind of tripped up on himself and fell down.
yeah, I think he was supposed to just stand up and not fall on himself.
Yeah.
But he fell down and just, yeah, he looked scared of CM Punk, which is really bad. We spoke about this in the first go around. Rollins, oh, and then we didn't talk about this. After Punk pushed Gunther, Rollins is in the crowd. LA Knight attacks Rollins from behind, and they fought in the, like, where the t-shirt sales are and this and the beer sales are and everything else. They were fighting through there until Rollins runs away. Rollins is in a feud with 17 different wrestlers at the moment. Like, it's insane. He's in a feud with Penta. He's essentially in a feud with Sammy.
Yep.
He's in a feud with Jay.
Yep.
He's in a feud with CM Punk.
Yep.
He's in a feud with LA Knight.
Yep.
He's in a quasi feud with both Gunther and Cena because he's got that briefcase. Like, there's so much going on with Seth Rollins. It's hard to keep track of sometimes, and he's all over both shows, which is great because Seth is great. But at the same time, it's just like, it's so hard to keep track of what you're doing with this guy.
Yeah.
And you know, it's I got nothing. I like, he needs to win that. He needs to win that title. He needs to win. He needs to cash in on on Goldberg, save us from Goldberg, and then give me something else. All right. Then we get the backstage. We talked about it a little bit in the intro, but we'll talk about the backstage of the Judgment Day, where Finn, they voted in. They're voting in Roxanne. They're all still celebrating Finn and Dom's championship win. Finn and JD's championship win. And he goes, "Hey guys, now it'd be a great time to add Roxanne officially into the Judgment Day," which is a little bit of a callback because originally, remember when they were still Damian and Rhea in the Judgment Day, Damian didn't want JD in the Judgment Day. So Finn has done this before. Finn has brought in people to the group who no one wanted. So they look at it, Finn goes, "My vote's yes." JD goes, "Yeah." And Dom puts his head down. He goes, "I gotta call Liv." And Finn goes, "No, you don't gotta call. Be a man. Make your own decisions." And Dom goes, tentatively, "Yes." And the camera work here is amazing because Raquel is so tall and Roxanne is so tiny that at how they position the camera, she looked even smaller, looking up at Raquel, waiting for her answer. Like if she was at Raquel's hip and she looks down and Raquel looks down on her through the side eye and Raquel goes, you better hold up your end of the barrier in Chiquita. And great segment. Great segment.
Roxanne in the Judgment
We got Roxanne in the Judgment Day. And we said, again, this is why Raquel should have won on Saturday, because then you would have at least had Raquel who is more appreciative of Roxanne as opposed to, "I'm voting you in because I have to right now." Sort of segment. All right. So then we get Bayley and Lyra, and it's a fine match. It's just fine. These two women can wrestle. These two women are good. I'm just done with this story at this point. Like, I can't, like, I'm not gonna go move for move. The finish goes where they're reversing pinfalls and they're trying to get the one up, and Bayley reverses Raquel. Bayley has Lyra in almost like a German suplex type position, but they're both sitting down, and she pulls her body weight back and both of their shoulders are flat to the mat, and Jessica Carr pins them down for 3, and they're both cheering, And Jessica Carr goes to the timekeeper and said both women's shoulders were down for 3. This match is a draw. And once the ring announcer announced that, Bailey swung Lyra around. Lyra hit Bailey, and they start brawling into the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, Sean Devari and Kenny from the Spirit Squad and all the producers come out, and all the referees come out to separate them. But I hate this segment because, again, it makes both women look stupid.
I agree.
Like you got,
And we were talking about the fact that Becky's pulling the strings and she's not even there.
Yeah, you both want to fight Becky. You both want the Intercontinental Championship. You're both baby faces. You're both supposed to be friends. You were supposed to be in the tag team title match. Oh, Darwin's here. Tag team title match at
wrap it up.
WrestleMania. Title match at WrestleMania. But Becky attacked Bailey, right? In storyline. So why are you two fighting each other?
Yep. It's stupid.
It's dumb. All right. So 2 more segments. Yeah, that's when we had Mysterio and AJ go back and forth in the back. AJ's like, "Hey, I need my title match." Dom goes, "Hey, I'm still not medically cleared. Here's my doctor's note. It's been verified by Adam Pierce." And then AJ looks at it. Dom says, "Don't you need your reading glasses?" AJ pulls out a pair of reading glasses, puts them on, and starts checking it. And then he goes, "All right, fine. I'll come get you once you're cleared. That title's gonna be mine." And Dom says something to him. AJ comes back and Dom picks up the piece of paper and says, still can't touch me. You touch me, the match is off." And weasels his way away. Hilarious segment. These guys are funny. AJ, the fact that AJ played into the "I'm 48 years old" thing, and I need reading glasses to see this is hilarious. All right, so then we get Bronson and Bronson injury attorneys, the Breakers versus Sami Zayn and Penta. And this is a fun match. We talked about it before, how much I don't like what Penta's doing right now.
Yeah.
I think he's just thrown into the whole Seth Rollins feud because you have nothing for him to do. It's an ancillary feud with Breaker after.
And again, it's
after
because
Mania.
of the fact that you had Penta feuding with so many people that now that he's only feuding with one, it seems like he's not doing anything.
Yeah. Well, it's also that Chad Gable's gone. Is he going to feud with Ludwig Kaiser, and Ludwig Kaiser's going to pick up the mantle of "I hate luchadors" and cost Penta all of his matches?
No.
Like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Ludwig Kaiser come out and attack luchadors. All right. Really had a great match. Eventually Breaker hits Sammy with a spear, gets the win. Back-to-back weeks, he got a win over Penta and a win over Sammy. They go for He hits another spear after the match on Sammy. They go to beat them down. And I forgot to mention this before. I totally forgot. I guess I just blocked it on my brain because you think I hate him. But Jey Uso comes down with a chair. I totally forgot to mention. I was trying to wrap it up. I'm like, something else happened, and I don't remember what it was. Jey Uso. Okay, I was thinking about it after we wrap recording. I'm like, I totally forgot Jey Uso. Jey Uso comes down with a chair, chases off the Breakers, and the 3 baby faces stand tall over Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And that's how the show goes off the air. Because, we need our Monday night eat.
Facts. We can't go a week without eating.
You can't go a whole Monday without eating. But that was Raw. Raw was fun. Raw was a better show. They did a lot of storytelling this week on Raw, which I appreciated.
It was a good show, another good show. Again, nothing tremendously needle moving, but it was a good show. It was entertaining. It was more entertaining than anything.
Yeah, we're moving forward to Night of Champ. No, I keep doing that. We're moving forward to Saturday night main event and Evolution on July 12th, back to back. Hopefully those will be good shows. 7 hours of wrestling. My question is, so does that mean Saturday night's main event is going to be an all-male show? Because it's the same day as Evolution. All the women are going to be on that show.
Not necessarily. They just might not have any of the important women. But realistically, damn, no, because I'm thinking about it, and that one tag match alone, where
has 4 matches. Yeah,
it's
they made They made the tag team title match for the women's
Yeah,
as SmackDown, Raw, and NXT. I don't think you're gonna get any female wrestlers on Saturday Night Main Event.
that's
I think they're
interesting.
all gonna be on Evolution.
That's interesting. Oh well.
I know which one Tommy's watching. Anyways, on that note,
Oh my god. As always, we appreciate you guys for the likes, comments, follows, subscriptions, and all that. We're trying to get more consistent again. We had our hiatus. We had technical difficulties. It seems like there's a lot going on, but we're fighting through it, and we're trying to make sure that we continue to give you guys more content, not just for you guys but for ourselves. Make sure that we stay up with it. This is something that we do enjoy doing together, and we want to keep making the most of it. So we thank you for everything, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
peace.